back to Train Sim World 2020. We are driving the Class 101 today, and we need to go ahead and prepare ourselves for a departure, boy. So let's get the main thing on. You to forward, and we're gonna unlock the doors while we continue getting the train set up. So we've got a destination light which we're gonna put on, and we're gonna put the marker light to white and this other marker light to white. And while we're doing this, we need to go ahead and do the same thing at the rear of the train. I'll just run it because this is a long train and we don't have long. So for some reason or other, this one starts with the handbrakes off but no lights. So I need to get into the back, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to put the left marker light to red and this one to red. Okay. So now you can see our train's got red lights at the rear, white lights at the front. We're about halfway through loading passengers. So this is a Class 101 diesel multiple unit that we're going to be driving. This is an example of a non-multiple unit. You can see it's got the diesel train at the front, and then all the passengers are in carriages at the back. Whereas in this, all the passengers are in the same compartment as the diesel engines. So each unit has 4 engines, so I think I've got 8 engines in total. And another kind of bit of antiquity, while I've got time to show you it, is the guard's carriage. So every train used to have either a guard's carriage or a guard's section of a carriage. So basically this door opens, and any big items of luggage would come and sit in here, and it would be kept under the watchful eye of the guard, who is probably on board but he's just not modelled. But anyway, we're about to finish loading, so we're going to sit in the driver's seat, reversers on forward. So the main reason I had a hankering for that, I can't actually see anything, so I'm going to put the panel lights on. There we go, that's much better. Look at that. Okay, lock the doors. So the main reason that I'm doing, I don't know why I had a hankering for this this train. So yeah, we need the handbrake off. That's a biggie. Yeah, this train is interesting because it's like a car, it's geared. So modern diesel multiple units, they have gears, but it's done automatically. So you can hear it when you're on board diesel multiple unit. Gear selector is going to be in first gear. So we've now engaged the gear. We're going to bring this back to lapped. Yeah, so in modern diesel trains, they do have gears, but it's all done automatically. But this is the 1980s. This is England in the 1980s, where everything is just very grey. So all the systems are in place. They just have to be done manually in this train, and it makes for an interesting experience. So the gear indicator is now telling us that we've got to up gear, so we put it into bring the throttle to idle, and then we bring the throttle back. So idling the throttle also activates the clutch in this train. Is that correct? It allows you to safely change gear. Put it that way. Okay, so we're done again. So, oh shit! Hang on. We're speeding. We're speeding like a champ. Driving significantly over the speed limit. Yikes. Oh, here we go. Now we're at 60 miles an hour. So now we can continue our rampage of speed. So train lights are not meant to illuminate. They are meant to indicate the direction of a train. Actually, back in the 80s, well, maybe not the 80s, maybe slightly before then, they actually had a different purpose. So the number and configuration of lights showed you the purpose of them. So I think it was like, I don't know, like on the steam trains there were 5 positions. There was lower 1, lower 2, lower 3, middle, and then upper. And I think, like, this isn't right, but as an example, it's like 1 on the right is a local passenger train, 3 on the bottom's a freight train, 1 in the middle is like an intercity train. They used to mean different things, and that was steam trains. And when they progressed into diesel multiple trains, they had those same light configurations built in. And this predated the modern system for trains that we have now. And then came along what's called TOPS, which is Train Operations Protocol System. And it was a new way of classifying trains. And so, as well as the lighting configuration, some trains where the destination board is, they had the ability to have 4 numbers. So they had this 4-number system, well, 4 letters or numbers. And that system is actually still in use today. So, for example, 1 is a intercity passenger train, 2 is a local passenger train, 3 is freight, and then like 9 is an engine on its own. No, 0 is an engine on its own, and there's just different ones for different purposes. So there was a while where there was some overlap, but now we exclusively use TOPS. And train classes. So when I talk about this being a class 101, that's how the TOPS system was classified. So I'm about to break for a station, but we'll talk more about TOPS in a second. Yeah. Throttle to idle, and we're going to put us to gentle braking. Actually, we're going quite fast, so I'll put us to half brakes just now. So this is a banner repeater. It's showing that the next signal is green. We're still going quite fast, so I'm going to brake us just a wee bit more. I'm going to release the brakes a bit, actually. Bring us to this. Here we go. Oh, we're quite far off, actually. Yeah, so the way the brakes work in this train is like, if you, in a modern train, if you apply the brakes to 20%, then you are braking to 20% of the braking capacity of the train. Whereas this lever here, you're controlling the rate of change of brakes. Shit, I need to release the brakes. Hang on, bring us to 1 throttle, because we're kind of off the edge of the platform. Yeah, so like in a modern train, you are controlling the brakes directly, the brake percentage directly. But in this train, you are controlling the. Oh, do you know what? That's far enough, isn't it? The rate of change of brakes. So when it says apply 20%, that's making that needle come down, but now it's at 1/4 brakes, now 1/2, now 3/4, and then eventually full brakes. So that lever controls, yeah, the rate of change of that braking, but not actually how much you are braking. So you kind of have to, you've got like this extra level of thought process into your braking. So if I move that lever to 100%, then I'm not braking 100%, but I am getting there the fastest way possible, like, if that makes sense. So it's just, it's a tricky one. Lap, when it says lap, that means that there is, so this is pneumatic brakes. Lap means there is no air going into the braking system, nor is there any air coming out. If I release, then that is releasing the pressure in the tank. So I'm just going to leave it on lap because I don't want to start rolling. Here's another class 101. We're going to bring the gear back to gear 1, and we're just about finished at this train station. Woo! Good day, phone. How can I help you? Okay, passengers loaded, so we're going to lock the door. Okay, so we'll signal to the guard that we're going to be starting. So the guard buzzer is here, so 1, 2. So 2 signals means the train's about to start. Ordinarily you would wait until the guard buzzes back, but that's not modelled in this. It is modelled in Train Simulator 2020, but annoyingly not this one. So we're going to bring us ahead, throttle 2, and we're going to bring the brake back to the lap position now that it's fully released. And now that we're rolling, we're going to bring the throttle to full, and we're just going to watch the rev counter. Change gear. Okay. So yeah, all this is done by hand, and all of these systems are still in modern trains that we see now, what, 40 years later, except that they're all just automatic now, whereas back then, you know, you had to do things the hard way. Like the idea, like many modern diesel multiple trains, forward and backwards are controlled by just one lever. Whereas look at this train, I've got the throttle, I've got the gear selector, I've got the reverser, I've got the brake, I've got the handbrake, I've got the emergency brake, and yes, the emergency brake is all the way over there. It's a smidgen redonkulous. We're just coming up on the gear change here. Just takes a wee bit longer. We're next due in at Greenfield in 2 minutes now, and we're now at maximum. So let's go into the top gear. Here we go. Maximum speed. Let's do it. Yeah, so tops. So train operations protocol system, and I don't know my way around it entirely, but like, so there's two elements to it. There's now train classification, and there is tops, train operations. So train operations is, you know, one is an intercity train, 0 is an engine without any carriages, 2 is a local train, 3 is like empty passenger stock, and then there's ones for different kinds of freights and all of that noise. And then there's classes, which are a new way of classifying trains. So the 100 classes, so this train is class 101, a train that you commonly see in Scotland is a class 158 or the 170. The class 100s are all diesel multiple units. 300s and 400s are electric multiple units. I can't remember what the 200s are. I think they might also be diesel electric. And then the other one, oh shit, hang on, I've got a station coming up. The other one is when you talk about like a class 45 train, what that's talking about here is when you talk about like a class 45 train, the 000s, I guess, they are engines on their own, and their numbers of tens tend to refer to the engine power. So a class 38 is less powerful than a class 45, and a class 50 is more powerful than that. So it's a confusing system, but like it makes it easier to work out what a train is and what it's meant to be doing. We might miss this station. Just question mark? Oh yes, just. Yikes. Okay, so we'll unlock the doors. So yeah, like if you hear a class 101, then you know that it is a diesel multiple unit. It's designed for carrying passengers. If you hear a class 45, you know that it's a heavy duty train used for hauling freight. So it makes it easier that way. Whereas in the Steam era, it wasn't like that at all. I should have buzzed the guard, shouldn't I? Yeah, in the Steam era, it wasn't like that at all. You tended to classify trains based on their bogie configuration. And We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's give my voice a rest for a second. Ugh. So we'll lock the doors. Lock left doors. Lock left doors. And we'll signal to the guard twice. So he would signal back twice to say that all the doors are locked and that we are clear to depart. So what we're going to do is we're going to release those brakey boys. We're already in first gear. So we're going to bring us to a half throttle. Brakes released. So we're starting to roll, so we're going to bring the brakes to lap, and then we're going to send it. And then I need a wee bit of concentration just because this happens quite quickly. 1/2, 3/4, shift, upshift, engines back. Okay, so we got some time to talk about this. Good. So, right. Oh, there's actually a speed change that I'll need to pay attention to. Okay, so that's a banner repeater showing the signal ahead is green. So a banner repeater, basically, when a signal is out of sight, like this one is, if you're kind of at a lower level, it shows what the signal is just around the corner. So as my train passes, it goes red and it resets to no go. This is basically the inspiration for where no entry signs come from for us on the roads. Right, we're gonna have to upshift. Yeah, so steam trains. Oh shit, that's neutral. Let's not do that. I've done enough of that in my main driving career. So, bogies. First of all, let's talk about what a bogie is. Let's see if I can't see it so well. I can't see it for the goddamn bushes. Basically, modern trains almost always have two bogies of 2 wheels. So basically what that is it's articulated. So you've got 2 rows of wheels, so 4 wheels in total, that sit on a platform that sits on top of the rails, and then you have another one of the same at the back. Those are the bogies. And you then have the train that sits on top of those platforms, and they can rotate. So like as the track turns to the left or the right, whatever, the bogie turns directly with the track, but the train doesn't turn as much. And what that means, like, the reason why it's necessary is because if you have fixed wheels on a carriage, then the carriage either can't be very long, or if it is too long and the wheels are fixed, then you're going to run into the problem. You're going to run into the problem that it starts causing damage to the trains, because as the tracks, because as the front of the train is turning to the left, the rear of the train, which hasn't entered the turn, would start pushing against the rails because all the wheels are fixed. Whereas this articulated system allows for much bigger. It allows for much bigger carriages than would normally be allowed. I'm just checking my speed. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, it allows for much bigger carriages, which is very helpful in modern day trains. It's another class 101. So that's what a bogie is. It's an articulated set of wheels that can turn, but not turn the same as the train. And so steam trains were described by their bogie configuration. And so what that means is they had a mixture of fixed wheels and articulated wheels, the bogies. So if you had a small shunter, it might be a 040. So 0 means that the front bogie has no wheels, it doesn't exist. 4 means there's 4 fixed wheels, and then the 0, the last 0 means that the rear bogie has 0 wheels. And then you get other trains where you'll get 2, 3, and 2. So there's 2 at the front, 2 at the front, 3 fixed wheels, and then more at the back. Some of the biggest trains in the world, I think some of the American ones, are known to be configurations of like 6, 8, 4 or something ridiculous. They just have so many wheels. And yeah, like I say, the problem to having so many fixed wheels is it prevents turning capability of the train. So the tracks have to be straighter, which is fine in America where you've got lots of open space, so you can have a 684 train. But in the UK, where we've got all these hills and a lot of train, oh shit, we're speeding. Where a lot of train tracks had to be decided based on land ownership rights, it became quite important to have these articulated bogies as we have. But then it wasn't quite straightforward as the modern system. So when you talk about tops, you know the purpose of it, and you can generally infer the purpose for steam trains, but it's not quite that straightforward. Like if you've got a 060, you know you're dealing with a shunter, used for like small journeys or moving carriages about a yard. But if you've got a 262, that could be a passenger train, that could be a freight train. Of course, engines are just engines. A freight engine could easily go on to a freight steam engine could just as easily pull a bunch of passenger carriages as it could a train engine. But just the system is so oh shit. We did not spot this. So I was so busy talking that I forgot to pay attention to the speed. Which we were 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. Whoops. Yeah, so basically the long and short of it is that the steam system was good at describing trains, but really kind of struggled to identify what they actually did. And so this modern system just makes it a whole heap of a lot easier. Yeah, there we go, there's a hot spicy driving over the speed limit. Okay, good. Fine, we're here. So let's open the doors. Open the doors. Cool. Right, okay, well, we're screwed up there. So yeah, that's tops. That's why we moved to the top system, is it made the process of identifying different train classes and their purpose easier, and then it also made it easier to display their current duties. So that train signallers could easily tell what was going on, because it then allows them to prioritize a lot easier. Because if you know that there's a 363 steam engine, sorry, a 262 steam engine and another 262 steam engine floating around the place, you know, who's doing what? How's the controller going to know? Whereas if you know that there's a 1A31 and then a 6B, you know, whatever, you know that the last one's a freight train and you want the passenger train to go first because there's a lot more money on the line. So yeah, it just makes that system a whole lot easier. Let's lock them doors and signal twice to the guardy boy. Let's release them brakes, gear, first gear, and we'll bring the throttle to 2. Here's another thing to talk about, semaphore signals. So before the invention of bulb lights, you had what's called semaphore signals. So these show whether or not a train can go or not Mechanically, they do have a small oil lamp behind them with these filters, so you can see what it does. I'll leave my train in first gear for now. I'll annoy the passengers. So yeah, once it passes, you'll see it's going to come down here. The lamp shines through the red filter, and you can see now it's in the horizontal position. So let's quickly do an upshift. Cool, here we go. Yeah. So semaphore signals were used before the invention of like kind of the traffic light system that we know nowadays in the train network, and it's a pretty well thought out system. And I guess it was done through trial and error. But so when it's up, that means you can go, and it's showing a white light, and when it's down, it shows a red light, and it means no go. And it's good because they're all controlled. There's actually one just back there. I spotted it. Back at the station, and it's a signal box here. So junctions, which is where you can change tracks from one to the other. So this is a junction right here. The signals were all controlled by big levers. Yeah, they were all controlled by this intricate set of levers, and it had marked on the map what each one did, because everything was manual back in the day. I don't know if by the 80s things started getting a bit more modern than that. I'm not actually too sure. And on the ground, they were actually physically controlled by cables which ran to those signal boxes. And so if through, I don't know, vandalism or like an angry mouse starts eating the cables, if the semaphore signal was to be cut, then it drops from the up position into the no-go position. So it's kind of like a defense mechanism. And some places did actually have it that this was go and this meant stop. This was stop and this meant go. So what would happen would be if the cable gets cut, everyone just drives. Which there is an obvious problem to. We're speeding again. We're becoming really bad at this. Let's just go ahead. Okay, we're gonna lap it on 10 because we're starting to come into this station quite fast. Yeah, so yeah. There's also somersault signals as well. And somersault signals are pretty amazing because they are they're like, this means stop, and then it kind of like flips all the way around to mean go. Which is just a ridiculous system. I don't think we're stopping for this. Yeah, we're not stopping for this. Ooh, maybe. Ooh, yeah, we are. Nice. This is only a really short station though, so we've got 2 carriages on, so that's fine. So anyone who's wanting to disembark is going to have to come to the first one, so that's going to take some time. So let's put the reverser back to forward. And we'll just reduce the brakes a little bit more. Did we stall? Because I don't hear engine noises. Yeah, we stalled. Yeah, shit. Okay. Right, throttle to full. Gear selector, neutral, handbrake. Well, let's actually just put the handbrake on a little bit. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do: engine start left side. So left engines are on, right engines. I just stalled the train. Oh no. Okay. Fine. Anyway, that's done. So let's bring this back to idle. That's fine. Let's take the handbrake back off. Lock doors. Lock doors. Objective complete. Right, let's do this. Brakes now release. Engines to 2. Oh, are we wheel spinning? Oh, we're in neutral. That was why. Right, I forgot to set a gear. Right, okay. Cool. Cool. We're starting to falter a bit. We're starting to get things wrong, boys. Anyway, yeah, full throttle. Okay, that's fine. Stall the fucking train. Jesus Christ. Speed limit is still 65 miles an hour. We're at the upshift point, so gear 3 and back. It's a really shit morning. Everything's just grey. I should point out, like, everything in my screen is so much darker than it is for you. Let's just do this upshift. Yeah, so like for me, I can see the rim of this light. I cannot see the switches here. I can see the plate here, because obviously it's silver. I can't see the... I think... Yeah, okay, so I can see the white of this button, which isn't clickable, but I can't see the black part of the button. But you, like, my second monitor, where my recording actually, like, is showing what you guys see, it's got a lot more color to it than I'm actually seeing. So frankly, you guys are lucky. I do hope the signal isn't yellow, because I've really not been paying attention. Or worse, red. 300 yards. It's green. Thank the giddy goose for that. Okay, let's tweak us into here. I'm actually going to apply a tiny little bit of brakes. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going downhill. So we've got a minus 1% gradient, which is a 1 in 100 gradient in British speak. So basically, for every 1 meter you go down, you're traveling 100 meters forward. I think the most you'll ever get in the UK is 1 in 50. I think. And that can be quite a challenge to deal with. Yeah, 1 in 50 gradient. There is somewhere in America that's really famous because it's got like a 1 in 30 gradient or something, and they've got like one of the biggest trains in the world that tries to go up it. And like, I know in the old Trains with the Z series, it was one of the scenarios that if you could do it, doing the manual thing, then you know you were like an absolute legend of the sport, as it were. Right, okay, yeah, I think we've got the control of, well, having said, we stole a fucking train, Jesus Christ. It can happen. You can also wheel spin a train, and unlike cars, you can actually wheel spin a train at any point. You can be going at 70 miles an hour and suddenly start wheel spinning. That is a thing. So I'm just putting the brakes on a wee bit more because we've got a speed decrease coming up in 600 yards. And yeah, the reason that this stuff is necessary to have on the HUD is because like real train drivers, they go through like accreditation and like prep work even back then, and it was quite important for them to do this because like they had to tell, like, that green light there, is that a train signal for you, or is that a road signal for a road right next to the train tracks? How do you know from a distance? And you need to know from a distance. So you know, you just needed to be aware of those things, and that Yeah, so you have to go through lots of training. Obviously, I don't have that experience. I've never... I think I've once been on the North Transpennine Express route. And that's kind of it. So I don't have that insight, so I need to use the... I need to use the HUD in order to be able to work out... Oh shit, hang on. Full brakes. Where's the brake lever? Where is it? Full brakes. We've got 15 miles an hour and 150 yards. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Yeah, we're gonna end up speeding again, boys. So here you go, that's a 15 board. And we're doing 20. Fucking yeet. Right, let's full release. Let's bring us down to first gear. Okay, so yeah, despite a few mishaps of speeding and being an absolute cretin and managing to stall the train, we're going to pull in and we're only 3 minutes behind. That's not too bad, given that I haven't actually driven this train in this simulator before. I have done on Train Sim 2020, but that is a different kettle of fish to this. Let's try and at least finish off with a good stop. Okay, we stopped. So I think this is us. So we'll just put the handbrake on and we'll unlock the right doors this time because we're at this end of the station. So yeah, we've got another Class 101 here. I don't think we have anything else. Where are we? Are we in Huddersfield? Okay, yeah, fine. So we're done. So we can lock the doors. There's still people on the train. I guess there's another driver probably going to come take over from it. So basically, yeah. So in order to secure the train, well, we're securing the train. We're not actually setting it to power off. So what we'll do is reverser to neutral to off. Gear selector to neutral, handbrakes applied, main cab switch to off, and we'll put the marker lights off too. Our engines are still on. Let's just. Oh no, engine switched off. Cool. Yeah. So destination light off, panel light off, so that we don't run down the battery. No, put the window up. Man. Okay. So yeah, that's us done. So another driver is going to come and take over this train. But for just now, we're done. I can't believe I managed to stall it. What an absolute champ. So yeah, this is the Class 101. I guess we didn't. Oh, actually, we didn't switch the rear lights off, did we? Marker lights to the off position. Yeet, yeet. Cool. Yeah, so this is the train that we were driving. Class 101, Class 101 here. These are guard carriages. This is what I was talking about before. I don't know if we can actually get over to them because of, you know, train tracks being a thing. If we take a good old hearty jog, this is what a proper intercity train looks like. So you can see you got second class or maybe this is first class carriages, actually quite fancy, with the guard carriage at the back. And then if you yeet yourself all the way over to the front of the tram, I can No, I can't eat. Okay, it's leaving anyway. I was trying to work out what class it was. It looked like it actually looked like a class 50 to me, but I didn't get a good look at it. I was concentrating on stopping the train. Yeah, there's no jump in this, so I don't want to go down and explore the carriages. But yeah, so yeah, that was our shift. Woo! So yeah, I actually still don't know where we are. We're in England somewhere. That's about my extent of my knowledge. And yeah, we are done this scenario. So you can see here my little mishap when I went quite far above. You can see my mishap here where I went way above. And you can see the stop accuracy, 2.13 yards and then 13. Yikes. But actually, yeah, we did not bad, and we earned ourselves the silver medal. Woo. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of Train Sim World 2020. I'll see you next time. Bye.